Welcome back to episode 62 of the Green.
Kick it off, baby.
Yeah.
Don't forget the music, right?
We got the music.
Oh, we
Here
did.
we go. All right, we got the music. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Green Room episode. What are we? 62 or
62?
Okay, thank you. I honestly, I don't know if you can tell. I fixed my lighting in here.
Yes, I can.
I don't have a shiny.
You're like Two-Face.
Oh, dude. I've watched.
You're
some
like
of
Phantom of the Opera.
Dude, some of the past episodes, I'm like, God, I look like hell. What is happening? When I'm next,
I look like shit. I need more light.
Yeah, when I'm next to you, though, come on. I mean, it's hard to look good, but
you know that's what I say.
I always say I have a great face for radio. Here it is. Let me just. This is so much better. We used to do like a,
Post production.
Yeah, the whole song thing. Ooh, yeah.
Or what we could do is have a remix, and if you want to do things quick, you just make like a shorter version, and it just goes "Can't get in" or whatever.
Dude,
like part of it.
So I have all kinds of different cuts of that
you do?
intro.
Uh-huh.
And it's so funny. I can't even find the original Pro Tools session of where because I'm like,
oh, wow.
Where is the song? Because then I could just take it and do it right, but I don't know where it's at. I can't find it.
Finding song sessions is half your life. I'm finding.
Dude, I swear to God, because I do a lot of like dumbass, like I'll open a session or I'll start a session and be like, A minor jam on a Friday.
Yeah. Right.
So
but mine's even worse. At least you have that information because you'll remember it was an A minor. Mine's called like Blueberries Hurt, or something.
Dude, I've got those too.
Honestly,
that would be a funny exercise to just go through my hard drive and see the names, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
And try to like imagine how they sound just from the name. I like that.
It's like I name songs like if I was like asleep and someone came up and poked me with the stick, like whatever word would come out, butthole. Like
Yeah. Nice. How many butthole songs do you have? Be honest,
dude. Seriously, I swear to God, if you go through, there's like some that's just like butt rock 3030 or something.
Love it.
And then it ends up being like a fusion song, But yeah, on the note of trying to improve, I literally also, and it's coming today, I got the same exact mic that you're using. I got myself
which is a 414 for the listener.
Oh, oops. Okay, so dude, I already have a 414. I thought you have a SM7B there.
Nope. No, I just have the pop filter on there, so it might look like
okay, fake out. Well, yours sounds nice, and I think it's because it's more of a dynamic. I use this condenser, which sounds nice, but A, it picks up everything, and B, it's a little sharp. I could tell when I'm listening back, like my voice is like, hey,
it's bright,
yeah, it's
punchy.
Really bright.
What mic is that?
So this mic is a Mojave MA200, and it's an awesome. I've used it on everything I've ever done, which I don't know if that means anything. It's just what I've used.
No, it means a lot.
But,
I've been switching around a lot, so I'm looking. I bought something like what was it? A Telefunken.
Yes.
I forgot what number it was, what model, but actually it wasn't making a big enough difference, so I returned it. But I think that may have had to do with the inputs, like because I need to upgrade that. I'm still using a Scarlett.
Yeah.
So, but that's not cutting it anymore for me. I need to get probably a Universal Audio.
Yeah. Dude, my rig is like, I feel like it's on its last legs. I hate to say that because that might be really jinxing me, but I have to like turn on and off my Apollo like 7 times for it to sync up for some reason.
That's kind of concerning if I was thinking about getting an Apollo.
Well, this is old, dude. I have this Apollo Twin, and I've had it forever, and I switch it back and forth. I used to even travel with it, but so yeah, when we do podcasts, I'm like okay, podcast at 9. I need to start turning this thing. It's kind of like I'm like warming up the engine.
You're like starting
15
up your
minutes.
old Model T,
Totally, dude.
cranking
So,
it.
yeah, but somehow it's like it's still going, so I don't know what to do about it. But I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna have a new mic for next podcast. So, and I got new lighting, so that's great.
Yeah,
So
the lighting looks great.
we're
It's
doing
great.
it, man.
I'm overlit, and I don't even. I need to like hang
Yeah.
towels up here in front of me, in front of the
No, it's
windows.
good. Yours always looks awesome. It's all like feng shuied, and you look
Hmm.
like you didn't just wake up. Like I was watching one of our last ones where I was wearing that flower tank top, and I'm like, oh my god, dude. I'm like, I look like hell. What is I look like a freaking. I look like the Chuck E. Cheese guy. Like.
Hey man, that's part of the Bakersfield twist. Everything's the Bakersfield twist.
Bro.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so I hit you up last night because my buddy John is in town. He does monitors for Justin Timberlake. And,
Yeah, that's a
you know,
cool.
whenever he's in town, it's not like, oh, I'm on vacation. It's like, oh, yeah, like, where are you playing? You know, it's like, dude, it just
Oh yeah.
works and works and works. But
And
it's,
listener, today's a Wednesday we're talking, and so it's
yes,
maybe not as usual for us to have a gig on a Tuesday, but if I
right.
didn't, I would have met you guys because you're in my town or
Exactly.
wherever you
So,
were. I probably
so
would have.
we were down Walnut Creek. I was with Eddie. It was great. It was a lot of shop talk. I was kind of just sitting there, and they were talking about EQs and stuff.
I know
But
that's how it is.
no,
They're like, sir, what would you like to order? He's like, compressor. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's like, well, with the Digico, this and that. I'm like, yeah. No, no, it was great to see him. But yeah, it was funny because I'm like, dude, I'm like right by your place, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, I posted about my gig.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
and
shit.
tagged green room. Hello.
Like the one time in my life I wasn't checking my phone.
Oh no, I didn't take it like that at all. I was just in
Yeah.
the middle of one of the weirdest gigs ever.
Yeah. So where were you?
I was in Yountville
Oh, it's out there,
or
dude.
Yountville, as
Yeah,
some people pronounce it.
I'm heading there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so it was kind of there is something called Estate Yountville, and it's the whole town. You're playing at Estate Yountville. That tells you nothing that you need to know, nowhere
Right.
that you need to be. And nothing is labeled. The street signs are even these posts in the ground that are kind of hard to tell where they are. You can't see them unless you're
Right.
right near them. So if you're planning a turn or you're trying to figure out where you are, I had to keep stopping and pulling over and kind of re-looking at the map. And then so within Estate Yountville is all these buildings that have different weird names. Oh, you're in Buccaneer and you're in, you know, Seaside and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're not labeled anywhere. It doesn't say that anywhere. You just call them that. That's all. You
Yeah.
know, and no one that you ask is aware of this. So even if someone works in a restaurant in this, you know, entire estate, you'll be like, you know, oh boy, do you know where Desktop is or whatever it's called? And they'll be like, sorry, do you want iced tea? You know, they don't know. I'm like, okay, sorry to bother you.
They're like, oh, that's in another part of town. I don't go out of town. I just stay in my
Right,
own
right.
town, which is my
Out of the
building.
estate?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just slaves in there. Who knows? I felt
Yeah.
like one, but I get in there. I finally find the area. The contact I'm given, this company that books me does not give the number for the contact. They're afraid you're gonna start a whole business with them on your own, I guess.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Right. Because can't have that. Right.
Right. Don't even. I would say their middle name, but I don't want you to know too much.
That's
about
like one of these things where like if you're playing a gig, they probably give you their business card. I have someone that does that where
Yeah. Oh yeah.
where they
It's similar to that. Exactly.
they go,
Yeah.
if someone asks for something, here's the business card. It's like for them. It's like,
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm,
a goofy picture of you with their company name on the top.
Yeah.
And it's all like hand cut. So it's like, here's your triangle business card.
Yeah, it gives you like all these paper cuts.
Yeah. It's all weird. So I show up there. It's unclear where I'm supposed to set up. It's a small event, I was told ahead of time. Here's something I learned. I'm going to bring PA for 4,000 people no matter what everywhere I go because
Yeah, right.
I was told it was like, 60 to 80 people. So I brought my tower, just the little single.
Yeah.
It's plenty. I show up. It is a football field sized area, and there's just tables everywhere. And I'm like, well, I don't have enough PA. This is great.
Yeah.
There's no
Gee.
time to go back and get more or anything. What am I going to do? Rent a PA somewhere?
Yeah.
So
And those
I,
towers are very loud, but when you crank them, then it's like feedback city, right? If
it's
you go
not
too
a
loud.
great, they're not meant to be above 80%,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And they do pair well together. I have two. So at the very least, I am going to bring both of those every time.
Yep.
So, and I choose the JBL because it's all one that you could lift up. All the others that are probably
Yes.
a little bit better,
Yeah.
like the Bose, are more than one piece.
Yep.
So I have like, office happy hour gigs. I do all these things where it's really helpful to go in one trip. I have a guitar on my
Same.
back,
Yep.
bag of cables, and other arm is the whole entire PA.
I love it.
So that's great, but it's got its downfalls. So I was trying to tell one of the Joselito was his name. He's a very nice gentleman, but I don't know that he was the person to ask where to set up and stuff. And he was kind of just sending me all over creation and had me climbing into bushes to find the power and this and that. So I finally set up where the initial part of the gig is going to be. Okay, the what is it? The drinks, just the drinks before dinner.
Yep.
Okay, then I'm going to quickly move everything. This is my own decision to try to help the situation. So it's a big space, but everybody's going to be kind of cloistered throughout. It's not like they're going to fill that whole space. They're going to be in this one end for the drinks in the beginning, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. Okay, cool. Instead of taking a break, I'll use my break to just move this system
Yeah.
and that'll
Awesome.
be fine. And I just want to make it work. So everybody's okay with that. This zombie shows up. A person literally just appeared like Homer Simpson from the bushes, the old meme, but the opposite. Just kind of appears from the bushes, and then she walks slowly toward me without moving her arms or head at all. So it's just like this still, uh, like
Yeah,
a
just
land
floating.
speeder. Yeah, just floating toward me with no expression. And I go, hi. She goes, hello. And I thought it was like an AI, and then I can't say
Yeah.
her name, but she tells me her name, and I said, okay, well, I kind of spoke with Joselito. Don't know who that is. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
someone who works here, but I was trying to figure out where to set up. Doesn't like it, so I have to unset up and set up in the place I was going to be
Because
secondarily
the zombie
anyway.
doesn't like it, she
Because the
works there.
zombie doesn't like it. Zombie's
Okay.
in charge. I don't have Zombie's phone number, or I would have called her before.
Right.
Okay, so I finally set up over there. Uh, Start playing, and I want to ask anybody who does solo acoustic gigs about this, but when you're asked to start playing when the event starts, even if nobody's there, you got to kind of be the
Right.
music when people enter. They want the vibe happening. So a lot of times you're playing when no one's there. This feels so weird
Right.
because your shit is loud. It feels loud because you're trying to reach this whole large area, and
Yeah.
it's just all it is like caterers
Yeah.
putting, filling glasses of water,
Yep.
like 100 glasses of water. They do it all violently. There's all this ice shattering everywhere, and they're just milling around in front of you. Not why should they acknowledge? But it's
Right.
just weird. You're in a fishbowl, and it just feels like every note just feels foreign. At least to me, I
Yeah.
feel so strange.
It's so weird.
And then
And then when
she's
it
just standing there listening.
listening, and it's the playing the song is extra weird, and then the ending of the songs, right? You're like, okay,
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, nobody acknowledges anything, and you
just
kind
more
of
water,
make a big
more
fanfare. You're like, da 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 da, da.
yeah,
And
and then
they're
the
like,
ice clunk 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 clunk
yeah.
clunk.
So she's just zombieing me from like 50 yards away, no expression, nothing, standing there, and then I just ask into the sound system, "How's the volume?"
Yeah, right,
Just
yeah.
to like interact
That's
or see, and she
yes.
actually gives a thumbs down.
Oh no.
So I turned it down a little bit, and then she turns the thumb up like louder than that. I'm kind of like talking into the mic and checking it,
Yeah.
and then she gives a thumbs up, but I don't know if that means louder or good.
Oh
So
no.
never do a thumbs up for good.
Yeah.
Do
Maybe the
yeah,
okay.
do the finger touching the thumb with three fingers extended. Whatever
Uh-huh.
the A-OK, I think that's called.
A-okay.
Do the A-OK, because up means up. So
Up
she
means up.
kept giving thumbs up, meaning it was good, and I kept turning up, and then she got irritated. I'm like, I'm doing what you said. You changed the signs on me. It's like a catcher. No, that's fastball now.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell?
So after all that, I'm playing, and it's getting to be an hour into the gig. There's only like 8 people there ever the whole time. And they're super far away at tables. And there's like a ton of food for 100 people.
Oh my
It's just
God.
the weirdest thing. And then I've just, finish. It's over.
Yeah.
And a guy walks all the way across the football field to me. By the way, the zombie keeps on going for food and disappearing in that same bush with it.
What?
So I don't know. She was hungry or whatever.
She sounds like
bored.
maybe like a apparition or something. Like
There was
right?
no woman. There was no
like,
gig.
she used to run the place in like 1920.
Yeah, yeah. It's Joselito in disguise. So, so this guy comes up to me at the end and he goes, "Hey, man, you know what? We enjoyed the music. I just wanted you to know. You may not know that from back there." Oh, man, thank you.
That's nice.
It did feel a little odd. And he goes, "And you know what? I really was impressed by was your Elvis Costello." And I did not play any Elvis Costello. So, but I was like, "Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I love
Thanks,
Elvis
man.
Costello." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I've never heard I go, there's players at different things I do, different live music, but I've never heard anyone play like 4 or 5 Elvis Costello songs." I did not play a single
Zero.
Elvis Costello song. And that's such a random, specific thing.
Oh
So
my
it only
God.
leads me to say that I must sing everything like Elvis Costello. But will you love me? Or whatever.
Or maybe they were so far away that like there was actually music from the other end, like just playing Elvis.
Nobody was
and
listening to an album of his, like
they
from a
just
window.
they just saw you. And they heard that. Like
I
and you were
liked how
just,
you made those cooking bacon sounds. That was
yeah,
great.
yeah. It was just like your noise was just like a reverberated, like so far away.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah. So, and then I never saw her again. I was cleaning up. I usually like to
Oh.
go thank them and say, "Hey, great doing business with you," as
Yeah.
Italians say.
Yeah.
I never saw her again, and just usually some of the lights of an event go out. We've talked about this, so you have to clean up in semi-dark.
Dude, that's
It's always a problem. But the one little lights that are on, you'll kind of try to go around those to maybe coil cables or see what you're doing.
Sure.
And that's where all the mosquitoes are.
Yeah, oh, dude, yeah.
Because of the lights. So you're just like,
Yeah.
do I want mosquito bites and all my gear, or do I want to maybe leave some stuff and just get the heck out?
Yeah,
So
extra little gifts from the gig, right? You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I always there's certain gigs that I go to, and there's always these little uplights. You know, the uplights that
yeah, oh yeah,
you probably use them all the time.
oh yeah.
They just sit on the ground, right? And
All right.
from the side, because they are uplights, they just shoot up and they look nice. There's like colors, right? This always happens to me. I go to like plug in an outlet or something, and those uplights are always right there, and I look right into it. I'm like, oh!
Where that used to happen to me especially is the ranch, the Skywalker.
That's the one. That's
That's the
exactly
one.
the one. That is exactly the
that's
one.
great.
It
Yeah.
happened to me because they put those uplights right there. So now I know better. I've done it enough. I just move those uplights.
Yeah.
Because I would go to plug in, and every time I'm like, oh,
Blinded by
dude. Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
funny that I knew the exact place.
Yeah, it is. That's 100% the one, and maybe sometimes other places, but always that place.
Always there,
I
yeah.
think it's a little game they're playing.
Right. There's
they're
a
like,
camera on you. Like, let's see how they handle the uplight switch. Yeah.
Totally, dude. This week has been, or last week, Yeah, you had more than me. I had 4 shows.
Hmm.
And we were texting on Sunday on my last one. Dude, I was just fried, man. I was just like, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's just all the and it's not like I don't know what it was. I think just the it's the whole thing of just I'm loading up and this and that, and then like I was just so fried by the end of it. It was a good week though. I feel like last week was a very odd request week during shows where people were like they were throwing songs at me that like I've just never heard of.
Hank
Like,
Williams, Hank Williams, Hank Williams.
it was like there was this guy and I played. Okay, what did I do? I did the lounge. I honestly don't really remember what happened that night. I do that one all. When it's like those ones. Like when you just keep doing a show, they just all kind of blend together.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
I don't really remember exactly. I don't. I think it was pretty. Maybe. Oh no. Yeah, it was pretty forgettable. Basically, whatever. Sorry. Always fun though. Always fun. I love that place. But then, so the next night I did Discovery Bay Steakhouse, right?
Yeah.
And so I do this one a lot too. Disco Bay is a very unique
It's odd.
place.
Yeah.
It's odd. It's like it's part retiree kind of wealthy people, part burnouts that are just
Yeah.
like they've stayed too long. They partied in their 20s and
Yeah.
now they're in their 60s or 70s
Yeah.
and they're just still going.
Mhm.
And then it's part like family too. So anyways, I kind of try and cater my set to that, maybe a little country heavy, maybe a little classic rock heavy, just kind of feel the vibes out. So there's this older couple and this guy, they're having a good time and I can tell they're just drinking hard, but they're really old looking, like maybe mid 70s, late 70s. But then they had these real young kids with them, like maybe mid 20s. And I'm like, I guess grandparents or something,
Right.
but the kids were mellow and they were chilling
Yeah.
and just like they look so bored and
Yeah.
the grandparents were partying, like they're drinking martinis.
Ooh.
And the dad's like, woo, he like
With the
reminded me of,
fingers.
yeah, he reminded me of like what is that bowling movie where he does the thing?
Oh,
and
right, with Jesus or Jesus or whatever.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
he was like
You're out of your
vi-
element, Donnie.
Yeah, he was like vibing.
Yeah.
And he's dancing. And the grandma, I sang Santeria. She knew every word
What?
to Santeria.
What? These
Yes.
are 45-year-old grandmothers.
Dude, and so they were so down, and the kids cannot care less. Like,
Right.
they seemed like they didn't know any of the songs. And I was like, I don't know. But then the old man comes up to me and he goes, you play some Neil Diamond? And I was like, damn, yeah, well, I got like, Sweet Caroline.
Right.
And he wanted Harvest. You ever do Harvest?
Never heard of it.
I was like, Harvest? He goes, Harvest, man. Harvest.
Are you? Does he mean Neil Diamond or Neil Young? I think he means Neil Young.
He said Neil Diamond, dude.
Yeah, he means
And so
Neil Young.
I
He
was
does.
so confused. I was like, what? And then he started throwing out these other names. He's like, Willie Picklemeyer, man. Like,
Right.
he's like, come on. And then
I know.
he goes, check this out. And he goes, bow, bow, banana, na, do, na, 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 na. And I was
no.
like, okay, so you want me to play that?
What you're singing?
Yeah. And so I did, actually. I went, there, there. And he's like, yeah. And he's
I
like,
don't even know what you're doing.
yeah. And I was like, and I told the crowd's watching me and I'm like, I'm just doing this right now. Let's see what happens. There was like,
Yeah.
yeah. They're like, because they're watching this crazy old man.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, we just made that up. And I like turned it into a song for like 2 minutes while
oh, that's perfect.
he stumbled around. And then like he just kept throwing all these names. And I'm like, dude, I feel terrible today because normally I know at least how to get through.
He's like
some-
wrong with every one he asks you. He's like,
Yeah.
that's Dominic. You know that
yeah,
one?
Right. Yeah. It was such a fail though. I was like, oh my god. So then, but
Yeah.
they were cool. Just we're just like, god damn, like what are these songs like?
Yeah.
And it's another thing too where you've said this before, where people ask for these songs where you're like, well, yeah, that's cool, but like, think about everybody else,
Yep.
like,
Yeah, I literally said that to a person in front of like 2,000 people the other day.
right, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah,
And I won't
yeah,
say it off one request, but if someone's doing it like over and over and over, like if you do, some people, if you do one thing they ask, they think, oh, this is great. Now
yeah, I own you.
I'm gonna DJ this set.
Yeah, and a classic too, and this happened to me the next day. I played at Hannah Nicole, which I love it there too,
Yeah,
and
it's a great place.
I love the people there. They're super cool. But here's a classic where someone walks up, they're they're enjoying your set. You could tell they've been hanging, and they preemptively give you a tip. Like they put a nice little tip in,
Oh yeah.
but then they don't just put the tip in. They put the tip in, and you can tell before they put the tip in, they're gonna ask for
Yeah,
something.
they have like a hard grip on the tip.
Yeah, they're
look at
like
you expectantly.
they're like, look at the tip, and now I've made my payment,
Yeah.
and now it's time to you make the payment.
And then, so if you don't know, here's the thing: if they're starting that way, and you don't know the song they're saying, have they ever taken the tip back?
I've never seen that, but I could tell there's disappointment with it.
I
So
think I might have seen that happen. I think someone did that. I'm not
it's so dirty.
positive, but I think they're like have a 5 in their hand. They didn't get
Yeah.
all the way with their wrist into the tip jar thing, but they're kind of like
They just
you could
kinda
see
held-
the money, and I mean $5. I'm like, I don't care, but
Right.
if it's like
Yeah.
100, I'll learn it on the spot like you do with that guy.
Yeah. So what this lady wanted, she wanted Bob Dylan,
Okay.
but I'm like, I don't know any Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They're all
And
simple.
I thought I could just make one up on the spot too. I was like, damn, yeah, of course I know all the songs, I guess. So, anyways, whatever. Total fail because I didn't know any Bob Dylan, but I know like Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, so I did that.
There you go. Exactly.
So
Just do All Along the Watchtower.
So yeah, right. And Hey Joe too,
3
right?
chords.
I think.
I didn't know. I don't think he wrote that. But
Okay,
maybe.
never mind.
Sorry.
But
I'm taking
all
my
along,
fiber back.
I did bust my all along the watchtower. So, anyways, I felt a little. Whenever that happens, I do try and make a mental note. And next time I'm like in my car, I'm like, I need to look up these songs. So at least they're in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled up some stinking Bob Dylan. I'm sorry, dude. Like I just don't.
It's not your thing. Yeah.
It's just nothing catches me. I'm just like, yeah, I know the hooks, like a rolling stone. Yeah, that's great. Like,
But do you think
like,
maybe he's the type of person who is a really special songwriter, but maybe you would prefer someone else's interpretations? Like you said,
Yeah.
Hendrix playing Watchtower or whatever.
oh well,
'Cause some
100%.
songwriters are like that. They're like a
100%.
storyteller, and maybe you prefer a different.
Yeah, and maybe
version.
it is another thing where when I maybe actually get down and get dirty and actually learn the songs, maybe I'll change my mind because that happens a lot where I go, like just upon listening,
Yeah.
I go, what's going on? But then you play it and you're like, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because
But I do think a lot of times that's the delivery, like his delivery or the artist.
Yeah.
He's very of the time, and it's
Right.
kind of, what
I
do
mean,
you
he's a
call it?
legend.
Protest,
He's-
yeah.
of course. And I will say though, okay, so this is my biggest takeaway when I was literally going to my other gig on Vasco, listening to all Bob Dylan, trying to figure it out. One thing that I caught that I'm not going to change my mind is he falls in the category of total gnar harmonica playing to me.
Right.
Because his harmonica playing is the kind that when you give a little kid a harmonica and it just
Yeah.
goes blow out, suck in, blow out. He goes hoo hee hoo hee hoo hee hoo hee hoo hee hoo hee. I'm like, dude, that is whack. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
he's not doing the notes right. Like
Yeah.
like Tom Petty, it's like ba 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 ba.
Right.
I feel like Bob Dylan's just going hoo hee hoo hee hoo hee.
He's like saying the alphabet into it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I know this is like
Oh,
that's
we are
like
gonna get flooded.
flooded. They're gonna be like, listen, put your flower tank top back on. Quit talking about Bob Dylan.
BD dog.
Not cool. I mean, respect. Obviously, he's a legend, but It's funny how some things they don't catch me.
It doesn't translate. It doesn't work for you. Yeah.
But maybe in time. Maybe in time. You never
Well,
know.
I mean, I don't know why this reminds me, but thinking of stuff that's to me a little bit particular to the time, because there are bands that friends of mine and maybe you like, but for instance, Ash, our bass player, likes Mr. Jones and Me. What band is that? Dude, I really don't like that at all. What is that band called?
Is that Counting Crows?
Counting Crows, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, they have hits.
Dude,
yeah. Yeah. I really, and even his like physicality, like watching him, I really don't care for it.
Yeah.
But I thought you might like it because it's a little bit more, popular in your
that one
peak.
doesn't hit for me either. It's like
But I don't know why exactly. It's just a style thing. It just
well, it's so like, I mean, I guess it's cool because it's so unique to that person where you're like, but it's one of those things where I would just imagine anybody covering that song and being like, come on, like, I can't do that.
Yeah, I want to see someone else do it.
Red, blue,
you know it well, see?
I see. It is part of my, my memories and my coming up. So I know the phrasing 100%.
Oh, wow.
Which also makes me know that I shouldn't be singing that.
Well, like a tweener one would be like Third Eye Blind.
See, no, I can squeeze by with that.
Yeah, I could squeeze by with it. Exactly. It's kind of a similar genre, but the singing is so different. The delivery is so different.
It's very different. It really is. I love Third Eye Blind. Actually, I'm not gonna front here.
Don't front.
Because I always really liked that guitar player. And the drum, the music is awesome, and I do like. It's just hooky, man.
Yeah,
I like how hooky it is.
Yeah,
I've heard real bad stories about that singer.
Well, right, because we opened for him, and that was the next thing I was gonna say.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and he was not the most, gracious.
Yeah, I think
but that could
have we talked about that?
No,
but well, I've heard. I mean, because I listened to Jude Gold's podcast, No Guitar is Safe, which is awesome, and he interviews just guitar players.
Yeah,
and he interviewed that guitar player that wrote all the hits.
Wow.
And kind of made, obviously the singer is a huge part of it, but he was his right hand man. They wrote all the hits together, and he created that sound with those weird tunings. Anyways, they started to not get along. And the way he got kicked out of the band, they just left him at the hotel in like some random city. The singer said bye. Yeah. And he's like, wow, okay. And that was it.
Wow.
Like, that's so not cool. And I've heard other stories from other bands that they're just like, dude, that guy's like, what the hell?
It's tough because you can physically generally, not every time, but generally recreate what a guitar player does, even if it is unique, just because... Okay, I know the tuning, I'll figure it out. But a singer's voice would be harder. It's just not the same. Unfortunately, so this is like the discussion between a singer and a guitar player exactly. Right. But I mean, I'm
not arguing that at all.
Oh, I know. But it's just like a unlucky thing for anyone who's not the singer.
Yeah, because the singer can go, okay, well, guess what? I'm the dude guy, and you're the fucking G chord guy. So guess what? There's a lot of G chord guys.
My guitar won't play a G. I'd love to be in your band, but
but a lot, and they did. I'm pretty sure they did go on to continue to have a few hits after he left, but his vibe was definitely a thing. But yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah.
When you get booted.
It's a tough biz, man.
Yeah. Actually, trying to stay current with pop culture, did you see that Josh Freese got kicked out of Foo Fighters?
I just saw one little like post about it or something, but I don't know what happened.
No, I don't know what happened either, but I was having a discussion with one of my friends, and I love Josh Freese. I think he's so funny and just like cool. Yeah. And so he posted a top 10 reasons Josh Freese got booted from the Foos.
Whoa, that's
It,
funny.
let me find this because it's actually really funny. Um, but my friend was saying, he was saying, oh come on, sorry, let me
Not
get it.
coming
Here
up.
we go. My friend's take on it was, maybe like he's like that seems so unprofessional to do that, to be so
If you're
open and
out,
like, huh?
I guess for a future projects, but to me,
For
if you're out,
Yeah, he just said he's like, would you ever do that? Like if you got kicked out of a band, what? He's like, maybe that's the reason he got kicked out because he's just
ah,
so.
that's
And my
interesting.
thing was, you know what? I'm on Team Freeze because he's so funny. Like,
Yeah,
and obviously, it sounded like a big like corporate like business thing where they didn't even call him. It was like the business managers were like they're going in a different direction, which is really lame to me.
yeah.
Uh,
But I
but
mean, I think it's also they're having problems because the singer's kind of having some personal shit.
Yeah, I love
That's
Dave Grohl too, but
yeah.
I honestly, from what I heard with Josh Freese, that was my favorite sound.
So
Uh,
did you find his top 10?
I got it right here. Here we go. The 10 possible reasons Freeze got booted from the Foos. Number 10, once whistled "My Hero" for a week solid on tour. Number 9, could only name one Fugazi song. That's
Nice.
pretty fun. Number 8, 2 words, polyrhythms.
Oh yeah.
Number 7, metronome like precision behind the kit deemed soulless.
Damn.
Okay, number 6, demanded starting every rehearsal with a 20-minute cowbell sound bath.
He didn't write these.
Yeah, no, I bet he did. Number 5, never once tried growing a beard.
Okay. That's
Number
probably
4,
legit.
number 4, didn't show up to studio because Mercury was in retrograde.
Okay.
Number 3, promised Noodles he could be fourth guitarist. Noodles
Who's
is the
that?
guitar.
Oh, I
Noodles
don't
is
know.
the
I think I
guitarist
knew
for
that.
Offspring, and he also plays for Offspring.
Oh,
So.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Number 2, refused to perform unless he was guaranteed a Ouija board and nunchucks after every show. And then number 1, the whole poodle thing was getting to be a bit too much because
Yeah.
he's got
So to me,
poodles.
these are fun. These are so not disparaging anybody. They're just
No, he's just
fun.
being funny. He's a
Yeah,
goofball,
that's cool.
you know. And that's
Yeah.
what his first post when he let everybody know he was kicked out. He just said, "Yeah, like I've never been let go from a band, so this is a first for me." And they didn't give him a reason why. They just said, "We're going in a different direction," and he's like, "And there it is. That's what happened." So pretty
Yeah.
weird, right? It's like,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe more will come out later. It's like one of those things. But
right.
I just think bands hopefully can stay together because there's so few ways to make a living in music
Yeah.
right now. It's
Right.
just touring is it, and
Yep.
you need the band for that. So I don't know.
Yeah, you
Too
need
bad.
people that are on the same page for
I
sure.
usually think there's some other bit to the story we don't know yet. And I'm not saying it's him,
Absolutely.
but yeah.
Absolutely. There's always more, it's like
Yeah.
it's rarely a musical thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And normally if it's a musical thing, it's because of a personal thing that's causing the musical thing to go
Well put.
like
Yeah.
alcohol or some sort of substance, if
Yeah.
someone's abusing themselves and the band by going on stage not, in the best shape, then people got to go like, okay, what's going on?
I
Like,
mean, the only other thing I would say to that is some of my favorite artists would want to change their sound, and
yeah,
they're kind of artists, not necessarily so much a band. So like Bowie or
sure.
Prince,
And just
they
go a
would
totally
change their
different
band.
direction.
Yeah, they would change their band every few years so they
Yep.
could evolve
Yep.
and do some different things. Hey, I want to do some jazz for a couple
Yeah.
of years. I want to
I get
just
that.
straight up play guitar and have a small band.
I
I want
totally
to
get that.
I want to hire some women only and just embrace that. So yeah, that's kind of a different thing. I mean, anytime I've ever let someone go, it was probably more of a personal thing though. Be
Yeah.
like, this tour with you was horrible. It was like,
Yeah.
we
Right.
gotta.
Yeah,
let
and
it
you just
go.
kind of know, you're like, hopefully everyone could sit there and agree, like, this wasn't the best.
I fired this bass player after a tour one time, which firing someone to me is very painful, and I
Yeah.
really don't like doing it. It's
Oh,
like
dude.
dreadful.
And it's a very hard, it's like an, I don't want to say an art form because that's not
Oh, it,
cool,
it kind
but
of is though.
you have to be good at it to not be like, I
To not
I
have a
ha-
bad reputation from it too.
yes, it takes some balls, honestly, to
Yeah,
to
it
to do
does.
it right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I fired this guy, and I should say let him go. I never say the words "you're fired,"
Right.
but actually, maybe I have, but not in this situation.
You just say you're fucking fired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this guy, I was like, I just think it kind of something like this is years ago, but something like it just comes down to I feel like you know, just not enough harmony in relationships. We're just kind of not getting along,
Yeah.
and maybe you're not surprised. And he said, "Good luck finding a bass player that just you can get along with.
You're like,
That's like that
okay.
doesn't like argue."
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, no, it's not like you have to agree with everything I say. Or,
Right.
I mean, yeah, I do. I am crazily looking for a band that like gets along, and
Right.
mostly that's what I've had. So I don't think it's unreasonable
Yeah.
goal.
I know. Yeah, anybody that's like, yeah, when you're not, I mean, see, that's the thing. Back to like the singer band leader thing,
Yeah,
and then everybody else.
yeah,
If someone's like, "Good luck doing this," and you're the band leader going like, "I kind of created everything,"
yeah.
like if you're like kind of
We were
like,
there before you came. We'll be there
yeah,
later.
like for me as a guitar player, if I'm playing for someone, I 100% know that it's like, yeah, I'm the G chord guy. Like,
Yeah.
like this isn't some mystic secret mystery of like how to do it. It's like, nope, someone else probably wrote those songs, and I'm just playing those parts.
But to counter
And
that, and I would say, and I think you, for example, extremely bring this. It's not blowing smoke, but the chemistry on stage and the way that songs are interpreted by the band is
yes,
huge to the songwriter. It's huge to me if we're playing my
yes,
original music, for
yeah,
example. And shoot, even covers. But
absolutely,
so and that is personal also,
yes.
but
Yeah,
that it
showing the respect. It's really showing the respect to whoever hired you, right?
I think there's
Like,
that piece, just the
like,
joy too though, right?
yeah, yeah,
You gotta it I hope it feels like everyone wants to be there and they're like having a good time. If
yeah,
not, why are we doing this?
yeah, yeah, and just hopefully making things easy. And
Yeah.
that is where, when you are not the band leader, not the singer,
Yeah.
that's where you can add value, right? Where it's like you almost want people to not have to worry about you at all.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, like that guy's easy to work with. It was just like a
Yeah,
breeze,
that's I think everyone should feel that way. But it
Yeah,
must be weird to be a singer when you're not the band leader. Like the bands you were talking about an episode or two ago where
yeah,
you have like Santana or somebody who is the
right,
band leader and they are not the singer. So
right,
then you kind of are fronting this thing that's not
right.
necessarily yours.
Yes,
And that's got to be interesting. Or taking another step, let's say Stone Temple Pilots, which
right.
I absolutely love that band. I could
Yeah,
not love it more. And so their latest singer was, I think his name was Jeff Gutt, which is an awesome name.
yeah, it is awesome, man.
Gut. But they did a album together as well, and it's really good. And he
Yeah,
kind of does sound like Scott Weiland, but it seems like it was just a natural good fit for him. And he, I think, just did get let go though, or
oh
they
really?
kind of went a different direction. I don't know why, but that must be weird to come into a band whose singer died or left,
Oh dude,
and you're trying to fill that. I guess it's a Hagar situation too,
yeah,
because you're going to change
dude.
the sound.
And I think Trey reminded me of this, and Jason, because when we were talking about bands that are like kind of fronted uh by not the singer, right?
Yeah, Yeah.
Van Halen, dude.
Yeah.
But
Right.
see, I my
But
my
Roth was undeniably.
my thing with that Van Halen was, I said, well, Van Halen just sounds like a band. Like
Yeah.
it sounds like Aerosmith, you know.
Yeah. Right.
And it's not the Van Halen band. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
But that being his name does make you kind of,
right, but you
you know.
don't. Nobody thinks like nobody doesn't think David Lee Roth. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like
You mean, yeah, no
with
one thinks Hagar when they think of Halen, they think
well,
of
no,
David Lee Roth.
no one like just thinks of like, oh, it's like that. Obviously, you go
I
Eddie Van
see.
Halen, 100%,
Yeah, I
but
see.
you think of it as a band.
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
you
I
know.
do. Yeah.
Um,
Oh my
yeah,
God, I love them.
Van Halen.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, for
I
sure.
actually would like to be. I don't. Well, actually, I'll ask you. Are you the whole age old? Are you Roth or Hagar
Dude,
preference?
that's so hard. I honestly, I feel like I probably like more Roth songs. Um, but I love some of those Hagar
Yeah,
songs
me
too.
too.
So
Me
it's
too.
just different. I like how I love how, I mean, Eddie Van Halen was a true artist where he was just constantly changing all
Yeah,
the time. He kept
yeah,
changing his sound, going different directions. They went into like ballad zone and
yep,
like they catered to what Sammy could do. So they
yeah.
changed for him, started
Mm-hmm.
changing keys and songs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Roth, it was just like pedal to the metal,
Yeah,
you know, like rock and roll,
yeah.
which is so badass. Um,
Ugh.
I like them both. I really like them both.
I mean, it's
I
just a
love how
different
it's
experience. It's like I look at it as Hagar. It's very, and this is not a knock on Roth, but it's more song oriented,
yeah,
very songwriter
yeah, yeah,
approach more. And then, like I think what you're saying is with Roth, it's kind of live show
yeah.
sounding and focused,
Right.
and it's just an attitude.
It's attitude, dude.
So I mean, I'm just very into Roth as a front
Yeah,
person, and I just find him endlessly entertaining.
yeah,
And so when you watch Hagar with them, it's not the same visually. It's not very visual.
right.
It's just so you want to sing along for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's wailing and it's killer.
Right.
But I feel like you did sort of lose just the impact
The
with
pyrotechnics of it all.
yeah, the visual
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I
And
mean,
it's
yeah.
hard. No one could
When
fill that. But
when I think about it, Roth definitely is the top. Yeah, because think about this. Like, if you switched the timeline on Van Halen, you
that's
think they would have had
very
this
interesting.
the same impact? I doubt it. I
Oh
doubt
wow,
it.
I've never thought of it that way.
Like
What
if
if it started with Hagar?
yeah, I don't think
Wow.
it would be the same.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
then it's Montrose, I
Yeah,
guess, or
yeah,
whatever.
right. Because I mean,
But he used to
well,
have Van Halen.
and
So.
David Lee Roth used to always say he's like, yeah, man, like I'm just trying to do what they do, but visually, right? Like
Ah.
he was trying to visually do like physically do what they're doing, like what Eddie's doing on
Oh,
guitar. That's
I
what he used to
see. I
say.
see.
He's like,
Yeah.
so if Eddie's all freaking ripping, he's like, wow, he's like doing
Yeah, he does.
flips and
He
shit.
splits and
Yeah,
he high
splits.
kick and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the way
Yeah,
his
that's
ad
interesting.
libs and like in between stuff, that's just so unique. Like it's it set them off, you know. It's
It's
like,
yeah. I mean, and I do think people don't realize how much it's James Brown.
oh yeah,
I mean,
interesting.
dude, it's a lot. And when you listen to those a cappella versions, you can just hear, uh, oh, dude, it's so JB. I mean, and I love that. And he would say so too.
Yeah,
He would say that was one of his main influences. But man, that shit electrifies me, dude.
it does.
That's
Yeah,
so good.
both of those. Actually,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
a crazy
But I want to
comparison.
talk to
So
someone
true.
who is like unequivocally Hagar and then hear their arguments for that's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of where I'm going with that. I'd love to hear
yeah.
someone just go, here's why my top 10 of I think Hagar was, better and I like it
Uh
more.
huh.
And they could have all these arguments of like singing range and tone
Sure.
and writing
I
and
think
lyrics and
I think maybe a purist singer vocalist would go there. Because
Yeah.
he's a freak singer.
Yeah,
Like
he really is.
it's really insane. Um,
Yeah, maybe you're
y-
right.
yeah, or maybe just someone that's more into the kind of ballady vibe.
Ballady
Because I
stuff.
feel like they
Yeah.
had some amazing just
Oh my
ballads, right?
God,
Love songs, right?
dude.
Um, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, has there ever been a band that was clearly better with like a new edition from the original?
Right. That's a good question. That I'd actually like to ask our listener, what band improved from a changed member? I mean,
What what would you
yeah.
say on AC/DC? Their biggest hits, dude, were with the second guy,
Yeah.
right?
Probably that is a good example.
Yeah. I
What
mean, because
about Guns N' Roses? I mean, they just kind of let one go. I don't think they added.
yeah.
Didn't Adler leave pretty early?
Oh yeah. But like as far as vocalists, right?
Vocalist, yeah.
Like like that's kind of a like
Yeah, that's
because
tough.
for me AC/DC, I
Bon
growing up,
Scott.
I only knew all the freaking Thunderstruck and like yeah, not the
Yeah,
Bon Scott stuff,
or Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. So what was the
It was
change
like
there?
Peter or something. I forgot the. I'm sorry to say, listener, I forgot the original singer's name. But
Yeah,
before they had Nix and Buckingham, they had,
right.
uh, you know, I think a number of albums and maybe a few hits with I forgot his name, Peter something. But
Yeah,
yeah, and there's purists who would say that was the real Fleetwood Mac, but they just totally
yeah,
changed.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like yeah. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. Dude. Hi, Nervo. Nervo just knows when we're podcasting, and he wants
yeah,
to ask a lot of questions.
although I don't think he's ever listened to a single.
Yeah, I don't think so either, dude.
No, he's
Oh
like
man.
rehearsing for a yoga gig.
Yes, most likely. Dude, I used to do those with him. For his wife now. Jeez.
Yeah,
Now it's been what 2 years, but
no, I think not even a year.
not even a year. I used to do those yoga things, and dude, talk about like a freaking. It's just irony. It's ironic because doing the yoga, you have to be so quiet,
Yeah,
and we would sit on these uncomfortable ass blocks of wood. And by the time the yoga was done, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm refreshed," and I was like, "I need to
in
freaking
agony.
yeah, I'm dying right now because like sitting still and quiet
You're like,
for
I need a yoga class now. Yeah.
dude, it was like I would leave there just like, oh my back." But
Were
yeah,
you guys just improvising the whole time?
dude, we would
in
get
a
we would
key?
go trippy. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
bring like this line 6 pedal, and we'd be
Mhm.
like all these bird noises and shit.
Fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
it was pretty cool. And it was a good solid $25 worth of work. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
yeah. No, I think that goes
But
without saying. Yeah.
no, we used to. I mean, back in the day, like obviously, I would go and play anything, dude. I'd be like,
Oh
"Let's
yeah.
go, let's do it."
Absolutely.
I wish I still could, honestly, if the music was right. But you know, it's just harder. It's like
Yeah, there's less time to,
less time. Yeah,
kids.
busy. Yeah, it's just it is what it is. Like, man, this week I think you said you had it last week. I'm doing this private party. I'm learning so many songs. Like, so what's
Why
your
didn't you
limit?
cap it with them?
What's your limit on how many
Right.
new songs you would learn?
Well, like you said, back to me in our text, it depends on the pay, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
If it's average pay, um, it also depends if these are songs I would be able to use in the future.
So
If
this
they're
is
so esoteric and like weird
this
and
is a
hard.
this is a good point. I'm trying, because I do agree that it is cool to inject some new life. And I'm finding songs that I'm like, "Oh, these could be keepers," I think.
Yeah.
But you never know, right? Like, so I've tried out songs recently, a bunch, dude, of everybody wants to hear these new country songs like Morgan Wallen and shit, right? And so I've been trying them out. and they all don't work, man. At least for me,
Yeah.
maybe it's
Well,
because I'm not.
I think that's the case with just new songs in general, with
Yeah,
bands, with solo, anything. If it's stuff is really new, people want to hear it, but mostly or occasionally one person wants to hear something, but most of the people out there aren't going to be familiar with it. That's why
right.
songs are called classics, because then everybody knows them. And
Exactly.
it's tough being in a variety dance band and trying to keep things new and add things. So then it comes down to your sale of the
It
thing. You make
when
somebody, then you
when
might as well play your original song.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, cuz
So
it is the comfort that we as the, performer actually feel with it. Cuz there's certain songs that I always play that I
yeah,
don't think are really that popular,
yeah,
but I think I'm so comfortable
yeah.
doing it.
You like it a lot too.
I
That
like it,
sells it.
and I just know it really well,
Yeah,
where it gets a response, and I'm like, I know that everybody doesn't know that, but at least it
right.
sounds like I know what I'm doing.
Yes, I know
And so,
exactly what you mean.
and that's what my concern with clients like this, that they give me this crazy list, and I'm like, do you want to have the person that you hired play,
Yeah, I would
or
say
do you
five. My
or do
answer.
you want me to go up there winging it for
Yeah,
2 hours,
I'd say
right?
five.
Yeah,
Five
five,
songs.
five, right?
I mean, how long are you playing?
I'm just playing 2 hours, which is
Oh yeah,
not that.
five's good.
Yeah. What do you? 2 hours is what? 30, 35, 40 songs, maybe something like
Um,
that. Maybe
I
not even that.
probably play more songs than you, like because of less soloing.
Soloage. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I have a 3 hour show, I'll probably the number of songs per hour goes down. I will
Ye-
kind of stretch things a little bit,
Yeah.
just for vibes and to give your voice a little break here and there. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think 5 songs is in general fair.
Totally fine,
And,
right?
yeah, at some point you say, I can, now that I see the genre you like, I can do, a lot of similar things. Hey, I don't, if a lot of it was country and a lot of it kind of newer, I might pick a different, newer artist that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about, I know an Eric Church song, or I know,
Right.
one Jason Aldean or something. I might,
Yeah.
um, do
Yeah.
that.
I like the
What's the guy
fun.
with the like beautiful mom hair? The country. He's like a great guitar player.
Mom
Love
hair.
somebody like you.
Oh, Keith Urban.
Yeah. So I'll
That's
say like,
interesting.
hey,
Actually, I don't see. That's the thing is, I'm very familiar with like Keith Urban's, but it just shows my age basically, because
hmm
I'm like, oh yeah, Keith Urban, but now Keith
it's
Urban
old.
is like old
It is. It is. Yeah.
to these youngsters. But I've always been honestly a modern country hater. I've never liked it, but now I'm forced to actually listen and really
Yeah.
get into it, and I'm enjoying a lot of it, where
Yeah. I think
I'm
a
like, this
lot's
is
good.
actually pretty
There's no
cool.
guitar in any other new music. You better like it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm realizing too that there's this certain guitar player, because in Nashville it's like the same band. They do everything, right?
Really?
And it's
hmm
pretty cool, and you can tell there's a sound that they're doing there that's pretty sick. That it's modern, but it's like they're doing real band stuff, and if you listen and if you look into it, it's like, oh, that's the same band on the Morgan Wallen band. That's the
And I've
same
never even
band.
heard of that artist, by the way.
Morgan Wallen.
Right.
Look, dude, it's insane. Like, so I've been hearing a lot, like, oh, Morgan Wallen, Morgan, and I'm like, what? And I talked to Clay about this. I was confused by who he was. I thought he was another guy, and Clay thought he was another guy, and I'm like, I thought Jelly Roll was like this guy. I thought they're all the same
I
guy.
loved him in Shawshank Redemption. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, the voice of God. But anyways, but Morgan Wallen, man, like, okay, so yes, he's got a lot of songs that are in the zone of like the kind of country I don't like, just too produced.
Yeah.
But the dude's got a million songs, like that,
Wow.
and he's just released, like he has a new record. It's got like 30 songs. I'm like, oh my god, he can't keep up with all these songs.
Wow.
Um, all these guys are doing this, but so I've been trying to like learn some of those, and then the show that I'm doing is for is it college or high school graduation? So it's a young,
Uh-huh.
and so it's like Post Malone, all this Post Malone stuff. And
See, I could use that. Yeah.
I dig a lot of his stuff, especially learning it. But man, his register, the way he sings,
Yeah.
is not easy. That's not easy.
I agree with you.
To hit.
It's also his vibrato thing that is so weird.
That's impossible. I can't do that
No.
for me. But
No.
he sings, like, for me, I can get away if something's really high. I could probably get it, and it feels okay to me. But he's like a low mid.
Yeah.
range.
So what it is it's at your break.
Yeah, it's
Or one
really
of your breaks. Yeah.
hard to be powerful where he's powerful.
Yeah.
And so and it's just one of those things where I'm like, great song, but I might need to just change keys for it.
Welcome to my whole life singing Duran Duran.
Yeah,
He's
right.
like really powerful right at my break all the time without relief.
Right.
And it's like really challenging. Yeah, but it does make you a better singer.
Right.
Kind of navigating that.
Yeah, because you're gonna go into zones that you just wouldn't want to. You'd be like,
Right.
honestly, like, because a lot of these songs that I'm learning, I'm like, I would choose not to sing that. Like, you know, I'd be like, no, I'll just do a different song. That's not for me, right?
Right.
But it is good to kind of force yourself in that zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, killer songs, definitely killer stuff. But dude, this list was like blah 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 blah. You know?
Yeah, you got to limit it somewhere in there.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of like you wouldn't like go to a contractor and be like, you know what? Can I just build the bedroom instead of you? I think I know how to do it.
Right.
You know?
Let me design the kitchen.
Yeah. Or can I do the surgery on your leg? Like, is that cool? Like, you know?
Right.
It's like,
I know.
but it's okay. It's like, it's great.
Yeah. So that's even a R&R really is like song requests in general.
Just in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I mean, mostly it's a nar. It's
yeah.
like,
It never
just let the band do it. And you hire them because you like what they do. That's
exactly
the whole idea. Except for if you want to pick one song because it's your song as a couple and and it's a wedding or
can I show
your
you
one favorite song.
Look at this. I'm not gonna show the name.
You're gonna show me a black page of
Look
all
at this. Hold on. I'm gonna hide the. See if you can see that.
Yeah, that's too many. That's
look at that,
crazy.
and that's not. That's
that's you have to train someone like that.
Look at that. It goes and goes and goes.
Person.
Look at that.
See a lot
and
of
these
exclamation points.
See the stars are they really want the stars, and then the exclamations. I don't even know what that means. What's the exclamation? It's like
that's over managing. That's
I know.
Micromanaging.
And so I'm wondering, like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do my thing, and finish. And I'd prefer to just do that, and before we have any sort of chat, and just be like. Yeah,
I would probably try to train them a little within a message. Like those are awesome choices. Hey, I picked all these I can do for sure, and then I want to do this great favor because I'm excited to play that I'll add these 5 that are also great. Everything's great, but there's only so much time. And like you said to that other request you told me about recently, like the budget is not really allowing me to be able to spend that much time
to learn 40 songs.
Yeah, it's just not the way it's done. So
I just was super positive with the I just said those are
better.
I said those are great. I'll do my best to get some of those in there. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
and honestly, I'm gonna try and really outline my set to where it's like boom, and so it's like yay, and then I'll get in there, do my thing, then boom, hey, so it's like like oh no, I did that, and then I guess let's say
or you wait till you see them walking around and you hit one of the star songs.
Like, boom, one of the big ones. And then I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be awesome. But I had a funny one on Sunday, the one where I was texting you. I played at this place called Noni's in Pleasanton, and oh wow, we're going long today. Okay, I could do this fast. I play on the patio, but it's one of these kind of fishbowl situations where there's the patio, and right behind me is an open window, so people are eating behind me.
Yeah.
And then there's people eating to the side of me, and then there's people eating in front of me, and then there's a sidewalk, so people are all around. And so it's kind of weird because this is one of these things where it took me a really long time to decide which way should I stand.
You're like spinning around in circles the entire show.
Yeah, it's like a U2 360 tour.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I'm going to stand kind of sideways. So then I'm kind of looking inside, I'm looking at them, and sideways looking here. And so I set up like that first. And then I was like, this feels really weird. It just felt weird being sideways with the sidewalk.
Right.
You know, I'm sideways to the sidewalk.
Right.
So I was like, no. It took me like 20 minutes to decide which way to stand. Right?
Yeah.
And I ended up just facing out, like towards the side, like a true like busker kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a fine show. It was good. And actually, I had a lot of people from way down different restaurants come up after and be like, "Oh, we were listening all night. Thank you." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome," you know.
Let me just show you where the tip jar is. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But dude, I was so fried after that. I was driving home and I just missed my turnoff to Vasco. Sure. And I was just driving like, I don't know what I don't even think I was listening to music. I was just blank.
Zoning.
Just zoning. And I was like, oh no. And I realized I was like going to the freaking, like, I was going to like the 5, you know, like all the way. And I had to
back
go
home. They were back to Bakersfield.
Yeah, back to Bakersfield. And so I'm like, crap. Like, oh, I'm out of it. Get on Vasco. If anybody knows what Vasco is, it's like a freaking road through the mountains. That's the way I have to go. So I go through there. Then I realize, oh crap, I'm running out of gas. So I'm like, no. And so I find a gas station, pull in, and as I'm pulling in,
we only have diesel, sir.
I'm pulling in, and this cop is hauling ass and almost runs right into the front of me, pulling in the gas station. I'm like, whoa. And he swerves out of the way into the other side to get gas too. And I'm like, geez, dude. So I pull in and I'm getting gas. And he was just eyeballing me, like looking at me. And, you know, I guess it was kind of odd because it's a Sunday and I was dressed I'm dressed like show day, you know, like. Right. And so he probably looked at me like, oh, what are you out, like partying? And he was just eyeballing me. And I was like, what's up, dude? I wasn't drinking or anything. And so I put in gas and I'm like, okay. And I leave. And he just gets right on my butt. He followed me almost all the way to my house. Like, it was like really nerve-wracking. Even though I knew I was doing nothing wrong, I was like gripping the steering wheel. Like, what the hell? Because he was just right on my butt the whole way. I was like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
He's
so
like,
that
quota, I gotta get it.
Yeah, right. That's what I was like. Perfect stops at every stop.
Oh yeah.
Sign. You know, I'm like, it's like,
sir, I have to write you a ticket. Driving too perfectly.
Yeah, I felt like the Jim Carrey where he's like nothing.
Yeah.
He pours booze
in his face.
He's all swerving. Yeah, dude.
So good.
That was a classic. But yeah, dude. So that was just one of those gigs.
I love
it. Anywho, what do we got? We got your and ours. Do we? I don't know.
I got one.
Let's get it.
Matching band wardrobe. And this is something from Trey from a while back, but he just said band wardrobe. This. But yeah, I mean, just matching wardrobe. Dude, so some people are really against this. When I suggest themes within our band, sometimes I'll get a little bit pushback. Like, that's cheesy, you know.
I'm a huge yar. I think it looks awesome. Like I think it looks great. Honestly.
I think you should have some cohesion at least. So, you know, to just trust everyone to have good style. Like, okay, I'll give an example of, let's say, here's a good example, I think, No Doubt, right? So they had a general vibe, but it wasn't like matching. They just, everybody happened to have really good style, but they had their own thing. The drummer might wear a sweatsuit, or that'd be the guitar player in that case. Drummer has no shirt.
Yep.
But so it doesn't have to mean like you're like all in suits, matching suits or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I think sometimes you have to do that. Otherwise, it's too varied. Like I would go and see certain bands where the singer is dressed like they're in Vegas, and then the guitar player has like a T-shirt and cargos on.
Right. Yeah.
And that sucks ass. I'd rather see overly matching. Yeah. Because it just looks like you care, and it looks more expensive, frankly.
Absolutely.
So I would yar. But I understand how some people think it's kind of cheesy.
You know, and a lot of times, bands, even if everybody dresses cool, it might not go together.
Yeah.
And if you get a picture where maybe you're like up against some other band members, if it's just like not working, it looks weird, you know?
Yeah, and people have thought I go too far because like I might bring a color scheme that I want everybody to do or something even further, and then we all check with each other what we're wearing before, even though we have the theme. And the reason is, if you have, let's say, oh, let's stick to these two colors. If you don't check before, half the stage on the right is all in white and the other half's all in purple. So it has to mix and match and balance too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of a whole thing.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like, even depending where you're at, some places are darker.
Yeah.
And some places are lighter, so it'll be like not too much black on stage. You just disappear, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes, depending on what you're wearing, sometimes white does not look good. Like I call it like the diaper effect. Like, so depending on what pants
It's like glowing.
you're wearing, it just looks like if you have like the Curb Your Enthusiasm Larry David, like the puffy crotch with white pants, it kind of looks like everyone's wearing diapers. But yeah, well, like on the No Doubt thing, like with Gwen, she dresses us and we pretty much match. And dude, we get to wear those cargo
whole outfit,
pull jumpsuits, and that looks, to me, that looks
they're
sick.
Dope. You guys look great.
I wish I had that.
I know.
But, I'm a huge Yar. Like if I got any of my original things together now, I would 100% make everyone wear like a very solid same color.
Yeah.
Just because then then you don't have to worry about what people are gonna look like. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just say, guess what? We're all wearing blue suits tonight. Yeah. That's what's happening. Like, and here's the suit. Wear that suit.
That's where it's really special. Yeah.
If you can, I probably couldn't afford that, but that would be ideal. Where it's all tight and clean.
Exactly.
Huge Yar. Yeah, I love that one. Good job. Was that Trey? Or that was
you? Yeah, we'll always give Trey credit.
Okay, I've got one that's I mean, this is, here I go, negative Nancy, but I just saw this happen because me and Amy were we were out the other night and we had a drink at this little pub or whatever by our house, and there's a band playing. They were playing all blues and it was actually awesome. They sounded great. And I walked in and there was a female vocalist and she sounded awesome. But she was wearing a purse.
Oh,
like,
weird.
Like she just got there.
Yeah, or maybe want it to get stolen.
She didn't want it to get stolen.
Because there's no green room.
So she's wearing the purse, but it was just glaring.
Nah, I would hide it behind the drummer at
NAR. And it was just like all big on her. I'm like,
I've never seen that.
I'm like, do you have to go somewhere? You know. So wearing
a Percy.
Yeah, wearing a purse on stage. I mean, clear NAR, right?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so that's all I got. That's pretty much
Alrighty.
it. Yeah, cool, man.
Nice, man.
Good time. Oh, wait. Let's play it. There it is. Adios.
Muchachos. All right, man. See you, bro.
Later, dog. Oh. This is going to take a while. I did the full. Sorry.
Yeah,
there's still a minute left. Still a minute left, guys. Oh, one thing I was going to say. I said, how much energy do you put into a dead crowd? Do you put a lot of energy into that?
I just play a lot of originals, so energy in that way.
Yeah, it's like, is it even worth trying, right?
Yeah, that's what you do.
Like, if you just get no response, it's like, do you try or do you just go, this is what it is?
Well, there's that one guy who wanted to hear a bunch of Elvis Costello, whether you played it or not.
Exactly. That's a bonus for you guys. Later.